Children are asking for protection. On June 1st, 5 teenagers from Karaganda protested in front of the regional administration, demanding to monitor the investigation of the murder of their friend Dima Shertakov.
5 teenagers from Karaganda used the opportunity of the Children's Day celebrated on June 1st to visit several state organizations and seek justice. This action is dedicated to their late friend. The 13-year-old Dmitry Shestakov died after being hit by a car while crossing the road. The police never found the driver and suspended the investigation. Children have appealed to the mayor, chief of the police, prosecutor and MPs, demanding the justice to be served. The police are doing their job poorly, as there is plenty of evidence, including the color and model of the car. The police representatives say that the investigation was thorough but produced no results. As for the teenagers' information, the investigators claim this is the first time they hear about it.
Nobody has ever testified to us about the exact model and features of the car. That would significantly simplify our efforts.
Dima's friends collected 200 signatures from other children under the petition and found an internet community dedicated to Shestakov's case. Teenagers recalled that in the beginning the police promised to copy the video from the street cameras, but later it appeared that the equipment was not functioning on that particular day. You have to wait for the memo from someone in charge of the case. The officials accepted the teenagers' petition and promised to resume the investigation. Leaving the officials, youngsters thanked them but said they will appeal to the president if there will be no progress on the case.
Meanwhile, businessman Dusinbek Ibn Aliyev addresses his complaints to the executive authorities, talking about the outrageous arbitrariness of the officials during a press conference in Almaty.
The whole story began in 1998 when Dusinbek Ibn Aliyev, the director of the company ZAN, won a tender for the recreation area Dendro Park in the city of Taras. The businessman paid the salary areas for the previous owner, built an equestrian facility and created a unique park with 120,000 trees. However, in 2007, the mayor of Taras, Ilyas Tortayev, proposed to Ibn Aliyev to move his sports complex as well as surrounding fence at the expense of the city budget, under the pretext of expanding the territory for the construction of housing. Supposedly, more than $800,000 were allocated for this purpose, although no work has been done so far. The president of the Independent Association of Entrepreneurs believes that the money was simply pocketed. A year later, Mayor Tortayev has confiscated the farm, with no intentions to compensate the cost of farm maintenance for the past decade.
The officials are simply using private business. They just divided among themselves the allocated funds without investing any money into the enterprise. They could have at least completed the work, but nobody checked them anyway. At the same time, when they do not do their job and then report to the public that the work is completed, it makes everyone angry.
After the businessman appealed to the town administration, demanding to stop the cutting down the trees and complete the construction of the promised fence, the mayor of Taras has sent over the team of tax inspectors. The initiated audit found no violations, and inspectors have unilaterally changed the terms of the contract, forcing the entrepreneur to pay the cost of a new lease for 4 years, which makes around $742,000.
The officials' interpretation of the matter seriously violates the law, and the absence of inspections lead to these kinds of consequences. People have no choice but to come here and appeal to the public.
Ibn Aliyev now considers writing a letter to inform the general prosecutor and president about the developing situation. Businessman believes that only public awareness can help solving the problems and combating the outrageous arbitrariness of officials.
On Tuesday, the Astana City Court recognized the commemoration of the Great Victory, an act of public disorder. Here are a few more details.
The distribution of Georgis ribbons on the eve of the Victory Day celebration cost activists a high price. The Administrative Court of Astana fined 5 members of the unregistered party Alga the total of $2,500. The court considered the ribbons distribution a disturbance of public order. The video shown in the courtroom revealed special task force officers preventing the distribution of ribbons among city residents. The action's participants were arrested, escorted to the police department and issued an administrative sentence. The court recognizes Belispai Bekijan as guilty of violating the Article 374 of the Criminal Code and fines him 5 minimal salaries. This means that each participant of the action will pay the state $500. Alga activists disagree with the ruling, however, they still have not decided whether to appeal the sentence or not.
On June 1st, the Almaty City Court reviewed the appeal of Jossaral Kuanishali. This was the last hearing held by the second instance court in a series of cases based on May Day events. Previously, oppositionists Kozlov, Sizov and Narymbaev have also appealed the decision of the administrative court.
Jossaral Kuanishalin's appeal remained unsatisfied, and the Almaty court confirmed the decision of the first instance. In his appeal, Kuanishalin requested the court not only to recall the administrative sentence, but also to bring an action against police officers. The appeal listed all violations of the law enforcement agents who were accused of fabricating the case. This, however, did not convince the court.
The appeals court decided to keep the decision of the Specialized Administrative Court of Almaty dated May 2, 2010 against Kuanishalin and declined his appeal.
The decision is not meant to be reconsidered, however, might be appealed by the prosecutor. On May 2nd, Judge Korazbayeva ruled in favor of the prosecution and fined Kuanishalin $100, although the process of his appeal was postponed several times due to the judge's illness. On May 1st, the 60-year-old oppositionist started a hunger strike, which later cost him a 2-week recovery.
I repeat that all accusations are fake and have been fabricated. They do not reflect reality at all.
The incident goes back to the May Day when the police blocked the demonstration march through the streets of Almaty. The actions of the police provoked protest and later targeted people who actually gathered for the flower-laying ceremony at the monument of the Second World War.
Nursultan Nazarbayev was yet again proposed as the Nobel Prize nominee. The idea was announced during the International Roundtable on the Commonness of History and Fates as the Eurasian consolidation factor. The meeting was held at the former location of a camp for female political prisoners.
The member of the Council of Nationalities of the Moscow administration, Raushan Kanapyanova, the granddaughter of the political prisoner Kanapy Kaji, proposed to nominate the president of Kazakhstan for the Nobel Peace Prize. This was already the third application for the nomination of the Kazakh leader for the prestigious award. Previously, similar initiative was presented by the Assembly of Peoples of Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, the Senate's chair, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, had recently published a book titled He is Making History, unsurprisingly dedicated to the outstanding role of President Nazarbayev.
Nursultan Nazarbayev is now one step closer to eternity. The monument to the founders of Kazakh statehood Zhenybek and Kirey was finally opened in front of the President's Museum.
The opening of the monument to founders of Kazakh statehood was awaited since last fall, but was marred with a scandal. The first monument, made in China, was rejected for supposedly not resembling the heroes close enough. The monument ended up in Astana's suburbs. The new memorial, presented on June 1st, was created by sculptors selected during a special contest and approved by an expert committee of historians and architects. The new $1 million monument was placed in the alley in front of the Nursultan Nazarbayev's museum, which used to be his former residence. The president finds the museum's vicinity with the bronze legendary cons very symbolic.
Emergency in eastern Kazakhstan. Heavy hurricane and chicken egg-sized hail devastated a settlement in East Kazakhstan. The 1,500 residents village is still without electricity, while almost all roofs and windows remain destroyed.
The summer began with hail. First, village Ushanova in East Kazakhstan found itself in the center of a hurricane and then was covered by a hailstorm the size of chicken eggs. Residents recalled that they barely escaped without casualty. Now rooftops of local houses look like sieves, windows are broken and crops destroyed. The settlement no longer has power supply due to damaged power lines. I rushed inside and shut the door. It was a nightmare outside. All windows were broken. The hail also damaged numerous vehicles. Looking at crumpled bodies and smashed windshields, the owners count their damages, as the repairs of each car may cost several $1,000s.
All village residents are still in shock. All roofs are broken, and the same with almost all cars. The hurricane and subsequent hail were very strong.
Nearly 200 houses were damaged by the hail. Now residents are waiting for the visit of a special committee that will estimate the scale of damages.
Representatives from Emergency Ministry and Meteorology will arrive to show the size of hailstone.
The head of the village administration shows hailstones which are stored in the fridge until the committee's arrival. Unfortunately, officials claim that the village budget has no funds to recover the damaged settlement.
These were all the latest updates from Kazakhstan. Thank you for watching us. Goodbye.